back to Incat and welcome back to another industry interview. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing hairstylist and hair designer Massimo Gattabrusi. Massimo is from Italy and he was able to tell us how he started his career in Rome and struck luck with a famous director.
He most recently worked on the movie Challengers starring Zendaya, and we were able to learn all about the process for designing hair for that film. And his work has even been seen in the newest film Queer starring Daniel Craig.
Without further ado, Massimo Gattabrusi.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have you over.
Yeah, it's very exciting to me too. I started very young in this job, working in the cinema industry as when I was 18 years old. Actually, before I started at 14 years old, when the theater, working in the opera lyrica and many kind of theater performance as a hairdresser for sure. and then I had my first experience in Rome, as is the capital of cinema in Italy, and I had many years, like 10 years, working in cinema in Rome, in Italy, until when I met after coincidence or evolution of the life and the career, I met Pedro Almodovar and Penelope Cruz in Volver. Was to be honest, my first, not really first, but it was one of the first important movie that I did outside of my country. And actually it was a really great meeting because Pedro Almodovar is a great artist. He opened my way to other opportunity and where I started a relation with Penelope for many years later, and doing many jobs with her as a personal or as a head of the department of the movie that she did. And then so I met other actors, other performances where I follow as a personal, and I grown up my career and my passion of this work during now is after 30 years. So the work is a little changed because from a stylist in this industry, I evolved in the last years, the last 5-10 years, as I working as a hair designer of the movie. So I mean that I still do it, the hairdresser and the hairstylist, but I have a different. I'm involved in different way in the project, and that make me so excited because when you are a hair designer, as a makeup designer, not in my case, but you are involved in the artist process with the director, with the costume designer, with all the head department, where we try to create one mood board of the movie before to start. So the prep, is very interesting.
I got the chance to read the Glamour interview that you did talking about the Challengers movie and the work that was involved in like pre-production. So I'm just curious from your perspective, what was the initial approach when you got signed on for the movie? What were some of the things that you were thinking of and some research that you wanted to do?
It's very interesting and deep research for the process. It was spoken about for sure, tennis, but we try to see the real life and the real details of the tennis player. So physically, as Fernanda Perez is the makeup designer. With her, also I worked with her with Luca. So all together we did a big research about everything, her sweat and all the details of the body. Try and do it to the real stuff happen in the life. Because Luca want that, and it's a very love to recreate the reality in the movie. And but was one point. The second point was the life and the identity of the three protagonists of this movie. So we try to have a clear image of each one character, identity of them. So, and there was, as you see in the movie, it was three, less or more three step of age. So, and sometimes it's difficult to give one input of age, because it's easily you can fault in the fake things or something that could distract the audience. So something that doesn't work, or maybe it's too much, or too less, you know. And what I am happy what we did in challenge that we found the point for each one. Without to do too much, without to do too less, and we did a big process in the test, in the prep, where we try many kind of wigs and many kind of makeup to find what's was working with the actors, actually, because when you read the scripts, you can imagine you can have imagination, sorry.
Mhm.
But in reality, well, the real work starts when you meet the actor, so a person. So any day that you have, you're gonna realize in a different way when you met the person. We had many ways actually in this movie, because for Zendaya, for example, that was followed from her teams. Kim Kimball and Kelly Robinson was the hair team makeup. Kim Kimball's hair stylist, and Kelly Robinson was the makeup artist persona. And I was care about the two guys, Hart and Patrick's. So they had the 3 weeks that's telling all the time that she passed, and even the mood of the life for any steps. And the same thing has happened for the guys, for Hart and Patrick, that when they was younger, they had weeks to make different kind of hair. Not only longer, but just change a little bit the texture as when we are younger, it's a little bit different texture. And then change. We didn't do 3-step with them. We just decided to do 2 steps of image, even if the time passed even for them. Because sometimes when you insist too much to show the time, could be something too much present, and it's something that as you tell too much to the audience, and I think the Zendaya already tell him very very clear the time passing, so the aging, and it wasn't enough just 2 steps for them.
Right.
And the wigs was so nice, so good. Was working. Also, I felt real, and I think it was accepted from the audience in the same way. I think for those.
I couldn't tell while I was watching the
No,
film at all. I also don't really know much about hairstyling, so maybe it's something that if you have the eye for it, you can tell that it's a wig. But I didn't notice
not at all.
really anything. It was all very subtle, which is what I really thought was beautiful as well with their hair.
Made it so natural.
Mm-hmm. Really neat.
Yes, that's the point. I think what you tell to me is make me so happy because confirm that we touched the point.
Gosh. I'm curious, like, because I remember in the interview you did as well, you mentioned like the struggles with dyeing the wigs, specific like shades and colors. Like, what is it like working with those wigs, like separate from the actor getting them styled and colored perfectly? Like, is it like a hard medium to work with? Is it forgiving?
Working with the wigs is not like working with the hats, as many people think about that don't know the argument, the subject. Working with the wigs means to recreate from the beginning one natural hair. Actually, when this came from the wig maker was Diana Choi from LA. Arrived the wigs was like was gross. I mean, it was really really well done, but usually the wig we finish in the head of the actor means that we apply the hair, they put the wig, and we looking for the right haircut slowly with more test to understand, because as you know you can cut one time, so it's not like, and then it's up and the same for the color. The color must be natural, so you must find a good shadow from the root to the hand, and you must see which color is adapts for the skin of the person. So and with a little adjustments, you little step, you arrive to the final solution. For sure, to confirm all that, you need to do some camera test where you're gonna see that's what you're doing on screen, and you can confirm, because actually as all the movie look at that do are in film and not digital, so the cinematography is quite different, and you must know what color to use, and to see what will be the result, because it's not like, well, the result is not like what you see on live. Actually, for example, the cinematography what we use was was very very subtle. So all the really soft reds become very red. So in this way, even the blondes, actually art was a blonde, quite gold, but in the reality was a white, quite ash. So it's a balance that you must find during the test.
Wow.
Wow. Gosh, that is so much more work than I would have ever even like considered. Just to make sure that like even like the coloring is like perfect, not only to complement the actor, but to also
To look good on
the skin
camera.
for the camera. Gosh, I'm curious then, like how much collaboration you end up doing with the director themselves, how much input they give you when you're on set.
Beyond just even the vision, also just like working on set and
Oh, absolutely. I know Luke and Fernanda from more than 30 years. So we start when we were young together. But I start to work again with Luke from Bones and all. when we did just a few years ago. And so the relation with the director is principal, is fundamental. So it's something that I am on the service for. I'm in service for the director. I mean, I can give to him my point of view of technical way, and even my option after he explain, after he tell or his sensation about, and then the sensation can be various, as kind of movie, kind of cinematography, kind of painted or picture photographer. So the research is a very, very wide field where with the time is going always more little. So where you you're making focus in the solution or option that you find. But the director, as Luca said, was really, he found more clear idea during the collaboration he had with us, with the option that he give to us, then we give back to him with the other option, and start and born something new there. Maybe something happen like that. As a challenger happened too.
So it seems to be an ever-changing thing that you just have to work with and mold to whatever needs in the moment.
Yeah. And that is process. This process usually is quite longer. I mean, it could be even 2 months, 3 months. Depends how much. Depends from the entity of the work.
Yeah.
How much you have to design, how much you have to
prepare.
Out of the 3 main characters, did you find that there was any like specific challenges or anything that was particularly rewarding about working on either 3 of them? Did any of them like stick out to you in the hairstyling?
Challenge was a challenge actually, and always is a challenge for any actor or any character. Was very beautiful to have a collaboration with Zendaya, because when she saw my sketch and my point of view of the hair, she was happy, and she put some kind of her idea, so to complete the way where we should go. As I say before, her team was amazing, because it was a really humble and with a big collaboration with us. So, and for this reason, the work with her became so good, about my point of view, for sure. And for the other guys, so it was a challenge, because Mike Feist, so his nature of the hair is completely different for what we show in the movie. So to find a different character, but in the same time without to make a really different person. So and the same was for Josh Connor. That's maybe it was a little bit more complicated, because in the beginning we were thinking about longer weeks, but sometimes the drawing, the sketch is working, but when you are in the reality, so the thing change, and maybe it wasn't the right person to have a long hair. and his look is working better with the short hair or medium hair. And Fernanda proposed to do the beard and the beard for when we was the last steps, and that's was working so good without to do much on the hair. So and then the rest of the challenge is on the movie, on the road. I mean, on the road of the process, where every day, because even if you do amazing prep and you are happy, you still do it one movie that every day can change.
For sure.
And then you must see the relation of the actor with his image, because what we do as our work is just to create an instrument that the actor and the performer will use to find the new identity of the character.
And it's funny that you mention it. So the beard will fall under hairstyle, hair designing.
So say again, sorry.
Beard and the changes of the beard, that will fall under hair designing?
No, was found from makeup design.
I see.
From Fernanda Perez. That's she actually the beard for the most of the scene was a fake beard.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
We are so good, guys. I'm really glad that you don't realize, but it means that we got the goal. Because usually there is some kind of beard that we with the nets, with the lace, but in this case wasn't, because it was too short first. And then there is another technique to do the beard that is just with the glue, the hair on, and then working with the scissor and the little tongue to make working as real.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm curious then how you try to handle continuity, because as we know, these films aren't done like in chronological order. So I'm curious what like the process was to ensure that nothing would get lost and that it all had continuity throughout the film.
We were so lucky. No, I'm joking. Yeah. The continuity, is a mathematical count. So you prepare for sure. Are few the movie that we can shoot chronologic way. I mean, from the first scene to the end, there are very few, because there is a problem with not a problem, but we must count about location, we must count about availability of the performers, so many things. So for this reason, when you shoot the first and the last scene, I make a really simple example, in the same day. So you just take a reference with the picture, but in this case was helpful to use the wigs, because the wigs have a point that you change the wigs, you just already change the step without problem. And then about the continuity, when you do this job for a long time, and you know how to do without. So it's not the problematic point, all the challenge of this work, the continuity. I think is important. I think it is something that must be correct, because can be distracted the audience during the watch the movie. But the first challenge and point is the feeling and the results of the image.
How long will it usually take to get the actors camera ready?
depends. For example, about this job, weeks, could be weeks of makeup, it could be 1 hour and 15 minutes. So we try to save more time and don't take the actor too much on the chair, because so just when we need, because the actor needs, even the actor need the process to go into his character, and sometimes this hour of the makeup give them the chance to go in, but when it's too long, it's tiring for them.
Mhm.
For sure.
And the performance of them is important as many things in the movie. So we must find the right value and priority of the work.
Out of every look that you did for the film, which was your favorite?
So I really love the Heart Young look.
Mm.
I really love, because really help him to go into the past of this character, and I think it's working so good, and I'm really satisfied about that. And then I, as a designer, not as a hairdresser, because wasn't me that did the hair for Zendaya, but I'm really happy about the design that I did for all the steps for her.
Mm-hmm.
I did, but when do you work with the team, it becomes something that you do with everyone. So there's a participation. That is one beautiful thing of this job.
I love that. Kind of a similar question, like, was there any particularly like memorable moment on set in general, working with everybody? Was there any moment or fun thing that happened on set that you remember?
I can tell you. So the funny thing actually is, I don't know how much is funny, but the the good thing was when we were shooting the final match, that was days and days working and the tennis play. And the look I want, a lot sweats, and with as I can answer even to what the question before you asked me about continuity, the sweat was a point, because the sweat was the scene of the time of this match. Because as you see the movie, there is still the flashback and the flash forward changing all the time. So and the sweat was one point where seeing all the steps of this match. And during we shooting, I remember look, I want more, and shouting more until we start with a little water spray, and then we pass with the bigger water spray with big spray, and then we finish with the bottle of water. So it was quite funny, because we were ready. Actually, our work was that to wet the actor in every shot, and it was nice. It was funny, even hard, but it was really, really funny.
Wow. Gosh, I can't imagine working with that much water.
I know.
It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, actually, I remember I was I don't know if you remember I think is the first scene that you see the reality of the sweat drops coming down. That was one camera, really old camera, that's shooting very, very, very fast to make a really slow motion. And it was a special camera coming from, I think, Italy, because as you know, now we shoot almost all in digital. So sometimes special camera you can find in some place we are passionate collectionist or something like that. So that's what it's time. It's past it's past already more than 2 years, so I can repeat the same exciting
For sure.
humor, but it was beautiful.
Awesome. So kind of going into our second to last question here, I'm just curious what advice you would give someone who wants to go into hairstyling and hair design for film and TV. Is there anything that you would recommend they do? Any work that you recommend that they go after? What would you give them?
So I think where do you live, guys? In the USA or Canada?
We're in the US, yeah.
US, no? No, sorry, I'm just confused. No, because I say that because in any country there is a different system of union, of process for profession. In the USA is quite precise the process to become hairdresser and the cinema. You have a different step that you must pass during the time, and different kind of job you're going to do. Usually they start with the school. I mean, school for sometimes you can find a school or some professionals that do course just to show how to do, but no mean that at a time we do a course we are ready to work, because this job is made from technique, but then after the technique you must use to know how to use the technique, how much, and then you must know, you must have the good and the right relation with the people working with you, as all the crew, as your team, but even the actors. So for example, and if you want, there is this say, so if you are very good, I'm sure will be somebody more good than you. So this, I mean that because it's important to have a control of your ego when you work in this job, because there is already a lot of ego, and if you go over the others, so make contrast, and it's make more difficult. So sorry, I just go out of the line of your question, but I think what I can suggest, I can be a little bit metaphoric, but it's one thing that I believe is, if you like this job, but even others, it's important to believe in the beautiness of your dream. What I mean? I mean that you must be happy to dream that. You must be not sure, but you must, when you have a dream, it's something that you, for example, I always dream to work with a Pedro Almodovar. I never told myself I want work with Pedro Almodovar. I just say, oh, it should be beautiful. And I dream this idea. So I think is the best way to meet what you desire. Because you are not too aggressive with yourself and with the life around of you. Just be open and the right occasion that will be in front of you. And this work needs a lot of passion. say passion, no passion. Needs you must love the job because it isn't easy because it's not common job.
Mm-hmm.
And we can learn just in one school or in some course. You need the experience. You need probably years of experience that teach you how you can do your work, not only the techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so after years, you can understand if you are good or not to do that. It's a bit tricky.
I really appreciate that. That's really
Yeah.
meaningful. Thank you for that.
Our very last question we've been asking pretty much everybody this. Is kind of a silly question, but we just want to know what movie you have seen recently that you would recommend for us and the audience to watch.
So I have watched recently. Actually, recently I haven't been to the cinema a lot because I start to work. It's a funny bit because you do cinema, but when you work, you don't have a time to go to the cinema. And I watch actually because I'm Academy American Academy members, so I do vote for the Oscar, and every year I watch all the movie American movie
Mm-hmm.
for the Oscar and the international one, and I saw many beautiful films. One of my preferred was The Perfect Day.
Mm.
I don't know if you see them, but this is my kind because, to be honest, as any opera art, as a movie, is made to have any kind of interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a good movie have to be with the freedom for everyone. I mean, even don't like. So I mean, there have to be one thing. I mean, I know it's difficult. I don't want to be too philosophical on that, but
Okay.
I don't like that. So I don't. Now don't jump in that in my mind to tell. I saw this movie. Look at this movie. A little bit blank in my mind.
That's perfect.
For sure, and I'm gonna close the chat. It's gonna come in my mind. Yeah.
If it does come, feel free to text us and we'll make sure to put it in.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Massimo, I know you've been doing a lot of work and you've been having really long days on set. What are you working on? What is something that people can look forward to of your work? And where can people find you to follow more of your work?
So in Venice will be Queer from Luca Guadagnino that we shoot last year. And I suggest we'll be out. I don't know actually when will be the date, but we'll be in the festival. So we'll be not so far from the date.
Mhm.
And this, I think, is a really wonderful movie. And I saw some version just for work reasons, so but I didn't see all finished. With Daniel Craig.
Wow.
So you can get information by internet. I think there is many news about that. If I didn't be present already, but you can read some story. It's about a William Barrow book called Queer.
Awesome. That's really exciting to see.
And so I think this is a good thing. Yes, it's a really a trip, a dream, something really strong. I love it. And then now that I'm working with another movie with the last movie with Luca, with Julia Roberts, and we go ahead in that. For sure, I can tell you nothing about now and Queer. I can't tell you more than what I said because I'm not. I don't have a permission to say that.
No worries.
Problem. Where can people follow you on social media?
Sure, sure. I use my social media just, I'm not for personal picture, but just as a memory of my job. So when the film is out and then I can use the picture, I do. I never do before because it's quite delicate
For sure.
point. So I'm there. So you're gonna see it.
Thank you so much, Massimo. I think this was a great interview. We were so happy, so excited to have you. And hopefully we can stay in contact for any future work that you have.
Great. I'm very glad to meet you. And have a good job and very good luck
Thank you so much.
for everything.
Have a nice day.
Have a good
Ciao.
night.
Ciao. Good night. Have a nice day. Ciao.
Yes.
And clap.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Uncut. You can follow us on all social media, starting with Instagram as Uncut the podcast. You can also follow us on YouTube as That Film Couple, which is the same handle for TikTok, That Film Couple for short form content. You can also follow us on Twitch as Sebasparra1K. And if you're watching right now on YouTube, you can find us on any podcast platform as Uncut exclamation mark. Last but not least, you can follow me on Instagram as sebi.mp4.
And you can follow me at caitlin.mp4.
Thank you so much for being here one more week, and we'll see you in the next one.